Good evening, everybody, and welcome to TFC Live, Season 3, Episode 26. And of course, we're going to be talking about June's pre-Bounty. This is our pre-Bounty 11 warm-up show, but of course, we're mainly going to be talking about Bounty and the release notes and TLCs and whatnot. There's quite a lot this week, I guess, but nothing more than last week, I'm sure. But before we go into it, welcome to the lovely Robin. How are you? Lovely Rue.
I'm doing well, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Wonderful, wonderful. And of course, we have the man, the myth, the legend, that is TSM.
Hey, how you doing, mate? Don't overdo it,
I've expanded that, it's grown a lot. I think next time I need like a bell or something in there to really finish it off. But anyway, so Mark, you've got some lovely slides to share for us all, so I'll lock on to you, buddy, and let you run away with it.
So we should be on, yeah, hopefully?
I am locked onto you, buddy, yeah.
Excellent. Right, okay, so there's title screen then, and there's tonight's content. Pretty straightforward, I'd say then. So Bounty Season 11 then, obviously 3 TLCs and a few bug fixes and tuning. Well, a few, quite a few actually. So, Rue, do you want to take Bounty?
Yeah, I guess I can.
I'll put some in the spot, why not?
It just throw me off the edge. Okay, so we're Bounty Season 11. I can't believe that we're almost have had a year of this, but anyway, Bounty is an event where big players repeatedly smash little bases and steal bounty to spend on PvP.
Sorry, I edited that bit.
What?
That does not look like what it used to look like.
I just couldn't help it.
Is that a direct copy and paste from Rampage's post, right?
That's a copy and paste from TSM's own inbook.
Right.
Yes.
It's true though, isn't it?
Yeah, sort of.
I guess, do you know, for me, for the last 6 bounties, I've not hit any player bases, just NPCs.
Really?
And I've hit over 100k success for the last 5 in a row. I've hit 120, I think.
Blimey. Anyway, I just thought I'd put realism in there. So there we go. That is it, basically. Yeah, bounty drips and all that sort of stuff. You can read. Anyway, right. There we go.
All right. So obviously, with this one, we had something new this time. They actually started it a day earlier. Not ending it a day earlier. They've actually added a day to it. So it started today at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and it will end as usual on Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. They have added additional bounty rewards for hitting player bases. These are not the map targets, these are actual player bases. In addition to stealing 50% of the player's unsecured bounty, you also have the opportunity to earn a flat rate based on the level of the player's base. We've not yet figured out what that flat rate is. There's some numbers that are floating around. So basically, if I go out and smash Liam's base, in addition to his unsecured bounty, I also get an additional flat rate based on his level.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
That is interesting.
So it's kind of a bit of an extra incentive for hitting player bases.
It's like a hidden gem, but we don't know what the gem is yet.
Did you play Season 10, Mark?
I did, yes.
Was it Season 10? They removed the guard fleets, didn't they?
Yes, but they haven't this time. We'll cover that in a second.
Yeah.
As per usual, 800 bounty every 6 hours. That's not changed. Starting with bounty 10 and continuing on with 11, you have a limited number of daily charges which you can spend to secure any of your exposed or unsecured bounty. So on day 1, there's 5 chances for you to go ahead and secure. Day 2, 4. 3, 4, so on and so forth down. You get 5 daily chances for your first day based on when you log into bounty. So if you're like me and you got smashed just before bounty started and you want to wait until your base repairs, if I start bounty tomorrow, that's my first day, so I get 5 charges for day 1. It's not 5 charges for Wednesday, etc., etc. It's based on when you first log in. So for that, for people that are wondering why, you could actually essentially, and I know people that have done this, start on the last day and they get 5 chances to bank.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's not looking at that, is it?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So replica bases, again, these are your opponent bases on the world map. The only changes from last bounty is that they have put the guard fleets back into these bases for bounty 11. So I know people were saying they were seeing some bases without the guard fleets. Those are probably just copies of bases where people didn't have guard fleets in there. So you may still see some without them, but if they have a guard fleet in when the copy is taken, it's going to be there on the map. And then the other change that they did that was announced kind of part of a Q&A on the forum by Chris was the dock auto repair. We've all seen this where dead bases, banned bases, your base, if you get hit now and you don't log in, somebody can come in later on and re-hit you, and your dock is actually showing either repairing or repaired. So prior to secure base, which was that feature and functionality that they loaded last couple of releases ago to assist with some of the shenanigans that people were doing to bypass security, part of that release, with that release, the dock would begin to auto repair right after it was damaged or destroyed, but we wouldn't see that until we logged in. So if I got hit, it was repairing in the background. As soon as I logged in, it would be finished, or it would show the time left to repair. Now the game is more aware of the state of your base because of the secure base, and is now showing your dock repairing in real time. So what this means for people that are doing bounty, in the past, if Mark came along and smashed me and I was off the game, if somebody came in 5 hours later after my bubble dropped, my base would still be dead if he had completely killed it. That's not going to be the case anymore. So if you have unsecured bounty out there, your bubble drops, and you've not logged into the game, someone can and will come in and take your dock and get the win.
Yeah, and that's game wide. That's not just in bounty, as you said there. So it's you can almost count people's bubbles down, and if they're offline, you're almost laughing. I mean, if you don't bank before you go offline, you must be nuts, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, but it does answer the question for those that log off at 11 o'clock at night and there's been, a couple of drips, and they're like, well, why did my bounty go away? Well, that's because your dock hadn't repaired, or had repaired, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Yep. Okay.
Okay, next is information. I think this pretty much is the same. First set through until started this morning through until Friday, and then there's a second set that starts on Friday and goes through until the expiration. Bit late now, but of course, if you were going to join an alliance to take advantage of the Nexus, that had to be done prior to the bounty season started.
Yeah, for this set, isn't it, particularly?
Yep.
Okay. Ooh, prizes.
Yes, I actually looked this up last night because I'm like, what in the world is an Ifrit?
I did the same thing.
Yeah, an Ifrit is a mythical beast that lives in ruins, and it has origins in Islamic history, I think it is. But it's a winged mythical beast that apparently hides in catacombs and stuff. But it's a radioactive hull that boosts radioactive deflection and damage. This hull's supposed to work well against the phlogiston launcher that's going to be released for base defense in the July, and I'm assuming that's in the July event.
Yeah. It didn't say which event though.
Yes,
so it could. Is it July raid or July bounty?
Bounty.
Probably is.
Yep.
Yeah, interesting. Stats are quite interesting there, though. Although after our last Reaver hull, obviously, which was the Rage, wasn't it? The long life that they had.
Yeah, what was it? 2 weeks TSM.
Yeah,
we had fun, mate. Like 2 weeks.
We had a mad 2 weeks, and then
we had an epic 2 weeks, but I'm not sure if it was cost effective in the long run.
No.
Well, this is another one that does have attack mod slot. Which is different than the Rages. It does have the extended thrower range, as well as a pretty nice radioactive reload, as well as a radioactive damage boost as well.
Mm-hmm. And it is the first hull that's stepping out of the free damage types that we've spent this year adapting to. It's the first sort of move into the next three.
Yeah, and notice the price there. It says on the you can get 3 of those at the 45,000 mark, and you just get 1 claim. That's it. So you can have 3 hulls straight off. So giving you plenty more things to build, like you haven't got enough already. But anyway,
yep. And to go with the Ifrit, they have brought out the Wildfire Thrower. This is one that's 10,000 points. Unleashes a blossom of molten uranium, dealing heavy damage over a substantial area. Again, this is tier 7, 750 tons. It's got the over damage of 636. It's got a pretty good projectile speed. And
it's got corrosive protection for a change.
Yes. Corrosive deflection
So
and
overdue. I mean,
I got a funny feel. Sorry, Will. I'll wait to the end. You carry on. Sorry.
No, go right ahead.
I've got a funny feeling that this will have a similar impact to the way the Rage had an impact back then. Like with the stats it has, you can, and when you apply the right weapons on the hull, you can build this hull pretty well in terms of what it can take. I can see this running most bases initially off the bat. It's going to be lethal. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and this one can go on Conquerors and Defenders as well.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, good thing. I like the fact that, as you said, it's a bit chubby there, but it's not as we've had worse things. 750 is not horrendous, is it?
Yep.
To be honest, but yeah.
And also bear in mind with this thrower as well. Like, say you've got your impact cruiser or your MSC. You're stacking a couple of MC2 and a couple of MC1. You've now got an option to put a couple of siege cannons on and get your radioactive deflection. Put a couple of these on, get your corrosive deflection. You can tank it up and not need to put the DU armor on for your deflection values, and you can now build up those other resistances, those other deflections.
Yeah, the nice thing as well, bonus combat speed 5% always helps. Quite like that in the bottom as well. That's
And with the reload time and the building damage, with say you buff that up with like Siege Battery 4, and you can. This is going to wreck turrets pretty well, pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, should be fun. Right, okay, and the special.
Yes, radioactive ignition, another one that's 10,000 points. More than a nuclear reactor, the genius of the ignition manifold lies in the flow and propulsion of weaponized nuclear waste.
Still good talk, isn't it?
Yeah. This one is chubby. It's 22% weight-wise. Does back off spread, but it does increase splash, and it does have additional radioactive damage. Limited to Conquerors and Defenders, but I can see some places where this might work.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I'm be interested to see like what other specials it clashes with. Like if you can run it with some of the other splash buffing specials and how high you can get it and stuff.
That is an issue though, isn't it? The problem is I hope this doesn't help Rages, because obviously I've recycled mine now. So
I couldn't bring myself to recycle.
No, I did it, mate. I just bit the bullet. I came back and went, right, they're gone. That's it. Done.
I see the two like old base fleets that I just couldn't bring myself to do was Prides and Rages, and I was looking at the retrofit, and I was like, shall I retrofit? Because if I keep them out, I'm gonna either scrap or retrofit. So
bizarrely, I've kept the Prides. I don't know why. I don't know, because it's probably the first decent sort of like tiered hull that had some funky mechanics, i.e. the speed up mechanic, which I quite liked. So I decided to get rid of the Rages, which was frustrating, but they had their moment. But anyway.
Yeah, I've stuck them in storage and to forget about them, hopefully.
Okay, turret tops.
Yes, this is the Javelin 2. This was originally supposed to be released for last bounty, but it was pulled. So it's back in. Still got a max redeem of 2. They're 10,000 points each. Escalation on the original Javelin. Taking a look at the stats, pretty much everything's using 14k power right now. It's ballistic. It's got not a bad rage, 287, and it's got some pretty good damage.
It's got a good range. My thing is the 110 inner range. So it's it's great for the people going around the periphery of your base, but as soon as they get in, then obviously it's not going to do anything at all.
Yes, and that's key for placement. It does also do penetrative damage.
Ooh, 24k.
I see a great benefit of this though to be very good at picking off sloughs, because if you put it kind of a middle of the range, not necessarily back at the very back where the OP is, but if you kind of front it up a bit, you're gonna have to armor your sloughs, aren't you, without doubt. Yeah, because this could definitely, like, if your MSC or whatever is going into the range of this, then that range is at 110 anyway. So there's a good chance that this is then going to start targeting sloughs.
Yeah, without doubt. I totally agree with you. Yeah, but another one that adds to obviously the duplicate cap ballistic, and people have missed it, but before, as in I did. So I'm quite pleased it's in, as well as a couple of others in a minute. Right. Liam being a PvP, do you want to go through the additional prizes and pick out some stuff that you like the look of?
Well, additional prizes, you've got the 12-hour ship build tokens, which is obviously a bonus if you've got points to spare. The Crusher Cannon is something I have never used, so I couldn't advise you on that. I mean, this is kind of the setup for the Boulder Fist, and I kind of got the Boulder Fist much after this come out. So while I used the Boulder Fist, I never used the Punch Drive system or the Crusher Cannon, but I don't know. Did you try out, Mark, initially when that came out? Is it good?
Boulder Fists I did, yeah, and actually they were very good. Clearly they're not top of the range now, but they're pretty good in bases still. They do last reasonably well against explosives and that sort of stuff. You know, you can tank them up a little bit, but not the best against missiles per se. But obviously the reload on them is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I did have 3 Boulder Fists in my guard at one point, and they were running the Chaos Chain Gun, and they will kill a hole fast. They will blitz for a hole fast. But the problem is when they introduced over damage, it had such a knock-on effect to anything that didn't have 2.3 million armor points. You know, anything that wasn't the T7 hull.
Yeah.
That things like boulders, and they've really just kind of dropped off the shelf. But yeah, so if you're a high end, you know, obviously, you know, you're not even going to bother. But if you're a low level, you know, you're in that kind of, I don't know even what we class as a low level anymore, but if you're sort of between the 70, 90 and you're kind of getting your stuff together, it could be a great addition to your guard. I would say it's a great guard. I wouldn't necessarily suggest using this to hit bases. No.
So you pick out that chart, what do you reckon?
Definitely the Boulder Fist if you don't have it. Take a couple, put them in your guard if you don't have a great guard to go. 24-hour Struction Token, always a bonus if you're building turrets or you're still working on maybe your Conquest Yard. And of course, a 12-hour ship build token. Go for it. 12-hour
ship build tokens are a gift because obviously it's one thing you can't roll for in any FM or anything like that. So it's a nice little stacker, and nobody likes to waste a whole day one if you've got a bit of a fleet left over. So quite like that myself. Next group.
Let's have a look. So Siege Missile D55X. Of course, if you haven't got that, definitely get that because it is not just good for the MSE. You can put that on other things. Sometimes you can actually, because that gives you a deflection buff.
Yeah,
you can use that on other ships to say, right, I'm lacking a little. At one point, I had a couple of these on the Hope just to bring up, so I could run a particular armor setup just to get those deflection values where you need them. So that's a must. The precision missile system, I like this special a lot. I know some people go in a different direction, but I tend to use that on my MSC. So yeah, definitely I would go for that. It's so cheap as well compared to what it originally came out as. Conquest Yard 24-hour token ①1. If you're built, that's for the actual yard and not to build
the yard itself.
Yeah. So if you're doing your yard, hey, it's cheap. May as well get it. What else have we got? The Conqueror class 24-hour build token, limit of 3 claims. That's pretty decent. Yeah, 3 days of Conqueror class. So if you're
running a Conqueror hull, so
yeah, if you've got the points, I mean that hull itself might only be a couple of day build. Anyway, I haven't actually looked at the build time on it, but the Fuel Tank 01X, that's a base special one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yes.
I like that one. Splash.
Yes.
Splash.
If you don't have that one, get it. I use that on so many different things.
Including countermeasures.
Yeah.
Javelin 2, 7-day build token, limit of 5 claims.
So that's the pen stuff, isn't it? That's good because they're all in there, aren't they? Vulture and the Jav.
Yeah, I mean, if you're building these holes, like for me personally, I stuck up on base parts prior to bounty, or leading up towards the end of bounty, and try and save some of the daily chests. Because you can if you prepare, and it was TSM that always used to drum this into me. Prepare, like I'll probably have 2 turrets cleaned off and ready by Monday, ready to attach on a couple of new holes. So yeah, I mean if you find base parts difficult to get, then definitely grab these tokens. But in all honesty, if you don't have a lot of points, I wouldn't get them. Not if you can fill up on base parts, because you can build these turrets for free.
They're good, aren't they? Blunderbusses, vultures, and catastrophic mortars, which are meh. But yeah, Javs. But if you want to go the pen way, then obviously it's a good thing because pen. So yeah. Anyway, okay. Moving on.
Moving on. Obviously, the missile storm cruiser is still one of the best basers in the game.
Yes.
Definitely grab that. One of my personal, probably favorite baser still, even over the Impact Cruiser. So definitely grab that. Limit of 5 claims, 1 hole per redeem. So, if you don't have them at all and you're in a good position and you got 25,000, I don't know if I would suggest getting 5. I personally have 5, but I wouldn't say you necessarily need to have 5. You could get a few at least anyway. Tactical focus. Is that the one that increases explosive range?
The tactical focus. Hang on a minute. Then.
That's the special.
It gives the extra
top right
damage.
Top right.
No, ballistic color. Oh, sorry.
No. Sorry, bottom left. Yeah. Sorry, tactical. Even I don't have 5 of them, so I'll be grabbing as many of them as I can.
I'm missing 1 personally.
Yeah, I run a couple on 2 MSC with the Mauler flag in, and I want to get 2 on the other 2 MSC. So at the moment I got the drone modules on. So yeah, definitely that's a must. Will instantly buff and boost damage. If you can get 5 on your base fleet, you're going to see a massive difference, and not only in how fast you kill buildings, but how fast you kill ships. So yeah, definitely, that's probably one of the best prizes there. Next to the MSC. Siege Cannon D35V. Is that the new one already?
Yeah. That's the one for the
Impact Cruiser.
The Impact Cruiser, which is available as well in this as well. So
yeah, I mean, seeing that at 5,000 is kind of surprising, to be honest. Like,
it's not the most epic of cannons, though.
True.
I don't rate it. I still like. There are better cannons, I think, to be honest.
Most people I've seen that have used it have then switched back to Chaos. So.
Because it only does a single damage type, doesn't it? Whilst it's got quite a bit of damage, it can be mitigated. Whereas if you want to do minimum bypass, then obviously the other one's definitely better.
Yeah, the ballistic calibrator, something I've not used yet.
Yeah, I've got that on my
cruisers.
Yeah, it works, and it's actually quite an obvious choice. It does work quite well.
And the penetrative scope is, excuse me if I'm not remembering, but is that the one with increased range or increased damage?
And I'm using it right this second on my spotter ship at the moment.
Yeah, see, I've got that on the spotter, and then I've got the increased damage on my actual. Yeah, because the spotter's in with my sloth. So yeah, I mean, it is great for that extended range, as Mark's saying, for your spotter, or even if you've got one ship that's more tankier than the others, or you can have the weaker ships sit back a little bit with the extended range, and it kind of gives you good options, I guess.
It gives you crazy range, I have to say. I'm using it at the moment now. Literally, I'm doing bounty as we talk, and you're 6+ tiles, considerably over 6 tiles. It's very good,
and it serves as an option for wardens. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but in my base, I have 2 wardens very far back. And they run explosives, and I have to use the explosive range. Range extender. So if you're running a missile setup on your wardens and they are quite far back and they don't quite meet all of the channel that you want, then it is an option, because you're only going to be getting passed through anyway. So why not get it at a better range?
Yeah, exactly that. So yeah, good set there. There's another good group as well, I think.
Definitely. Impact cruisers. I mean, me personally, see when they come out in that bounty, like base hitting was dead, so I never pushed myself to finish them. I'm just in the process of finishing my impact cruisers now, so I can't speak fully on how good they are.
Good for prep, because you can if you build them correctly for prepping anyway. They do very little damage to buildings, but they make an awful lot of mess to ships. So you can drive through most things and take out guard ships and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and they do tank one other damage. What's that? They tank one damage type better than the MSC and the onslaught, don't they? Like you can like I've seen some people use them where they have like their sloths, and then they have an MSC and an impact cruiser, and they switch between them depending on which damage type they're mitigating up front. So I mean, I would definitely take 1 or 2 if you're in a position to get them and you don't have them. Definitely take a couple. Because it's options. The Wildfire Thrower Ifrit weapon, obviously a must if you're going to go for the Ifrit.
And it's special, yeah.
The special, yeah, of course. I mean, if you're going to get it. Blunderbuss 2. Now, on this one, do you know what? When I looked at this, the redemption limit's 4, correct?
Yeah, this is a stocking filler to get your ballistic up, isn't it?
Well, see, you can only go up to 8 on the bonus, right? So if you are up to speed and you've got 4 Howies and 2 blunderbuss 2s already, which is where I am, then I'm only going to, I don't really think I'm going to bother.
So you're saying you can't claim it, or you're just saying you can't, you just don't get the bonus from it? Because
no,
I missed 4 months worth of this stuff, so I haven't got hardly any of the freaking turrets.
So I've got 4 Howies and I've got 2 blunderbuss 2s already. So I'm at 6. Now, when I collect 2 javelins, that's me at 8.
Right. Okay.
So there's no point me like, I could collect another 2 blunderbusses, but then I'd have 10 ballistic, and I can only maximum's 8. So there's, for me, like I don't particularly like the blunderbuss 2, to be honest. So I've got 2 up front as like bubble pad. So I'm not going to collect another 2. I'm just going to collect the 2 javelins, and then I've got enough ballistic turrets for me to be at my 8 bonus. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you may as well pen or something else. I mean, but explosive is coming as well, isn't it? Slowly. So because we've got those 2 mortars, haven't we? Which are the catastrophic ones, aren't they?
Is that the new ones from the last raid? No.
Is it called limit turret? Yep. 1 per redeem, maximum 2. Yeah, that's the one.
That's it.
Yeah, so well, let's go for a while. I mean, the blunderbuss 2, they've increased the redemption limit to 4. So for anyone, this is a great opportunity for anyone that doesn't have 4 Howies that came previously, because if you do only have 2 Howies and you've got 2 blunders, you can now get another 2 and get 2 javelins and hit your 8. So it's a great catch-up opportunity. So so certainly don't dismiss it. If you don't have 4 Howies and 2 blunders already, then definitely go in and grab them to increase your bonuses. I know there's a couple in my alliance that don't. So definitely worth getting. Explosive force. This is the one that increases explosive damage at the cost of range.
Cost of range, yeah. And it's quite a high explosive increase, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, and I tell you what, if you apply that to sloths, you're going to see some huge changes in what they can do. It really does beef them up. The catastrophic mortar redemption limit hasn't increased. I believe it's not increased, has it? Max 2?
Not to my nose, no. I think
so I mean, if you got 2 in the last raid, great. And if you weren't able to get 2 in the last raid, get 2 here, because we're probably going to see, a couple more explosive turrets come, and then you're going to wish you had, while the mortar on paper, when you look at its stats, it's not actually that good. It's not really doing a lot to ships. That will change, because when the next 2 explosive turrets and the next 2, all of a sudden it's going to become really good. And it's going to become like a prevention tool to stop people stopping in there, because they won't want to get hit by it and they'll have to keep moving. So definitely get it if you don't have it, because while you might say now, oh, it doesn't do anything anyway, trust me, in a couple of months' time, you're going to be cursing if you don't have it. So,
do you know what I was thinking the other day, right? They've gone from the turret stacking from multiplicative back to additive, okay? I was wondering if they might, because it's quite a simple mechanic to change. The maximum stack is 5 on fire support 2s and that sort of stuff. A nice progressive step now is, because people are thinking turrets are a little bit weak at the moment. They could actually just change the stepping frequency and go, well, actually you can stack 6 now, 6 fire supports, or you can add another fire support 1 instead. There are other, or bring a new fire support out that's got even slightly better benefit.
Well, see, the thing is, right, I think right now we're all kind of laughing because we can have 2 MC2 and we can have 2, but when they start when they start hitting us with, like, right now you can have 6 radioactive turrets, now you can have 6 concussive turrets, when they start hitting us with that, and we've got to start protecting against 6 damage types, we ain't going to be able to run 2 MC2. We ain't going to be able to run 2 MC2.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we'll be like, oh shit, like I'm going to have to put 1 hole that has 2 MC2 and then put him up front, and then when that turret's killed, I'm going to have to drop him back and push this one up. Do you know what I mean? And it's going to become this whole.
Do you remember we used to build, MCXs that way? You pick one for preps, or you'd have a prep set, and it was like strong in one area, but then the other ones were strong in other areas and that sort of stuff. And it'd be the same sort of thing again. Yeah, you'd have to actually think about what it is you're doing, as opposed to just pointing and clicking.
Yeah. I mean, like, you'll have to literally look, like, peek a base and sit there for 5 minutes, like writing down the turrets and stuff, and thinking, right, what do I need here?
Go back to doing what I used to do. I used to go around photographing bases all the time and just taking lots and lots of pictures, and then going back and studying. I used to take 20 or 30 pictures a night, then plan to hit those the rest of the week, but actually take more time to look at the base, dissect it and that sort of stuff, including the guard, and then work out which ships are needed or who's going to come and do the prepping for me. Basically, who in the alliance has got what.
Well, that's it. And I mean, it does mean that we are pushing ever so closer to that whole rock, paper, scissors element. We're pushing closer to that balance that we heard about earlier this year. not like a one hole to rule them all. Oh, I'm going to build the hole that just come out and smash every base out there. You know, we're slowly getting that toolkit together now, and I feel like we're sort of edging a bit closer to it now.
Halfway through the year, we're half. Yeah, you're right. So we're getting there. Right. Okay. Next slide. Oh, right. So that's bounty done and dusted. Yeah, I'm currently just banked my 10k. Oh, I'm happy now. I can chill out. Frantically, they're hitting bits and bobs, as they say. Right, good. So yeah, on to TLCs. 3 new ones this week, and there's a bit of an overlap because there was 3 left over from last week. It was Robin, I think. You put up a picture. No, Liam, you did. We had like 6 stacked, or was it somebody did? I can't remember who it was.
I don't know.
It was me. I have my internet's been screwed, and I got 0 done last week. So I logged on, and there was like 12 TSC.
Yeah,
panic.
Yeah, I barely finished the Ordinus one at like 10 minutes before it timed out today. But have a new one today. Turrets of Terror. This one runs from yesterday through until 7th of July at noon. Recommended fleets, garrison, legendary ranked icebreakers. I'm going to go against what Kick says. If you have dragons, use them. Just my standard 4 dragons with the Savage Kodiak did this whole thing for like 3 or 4 hours damage. And even folks that do not have full fleets or do not have Savage are doing much better with dragons in this.
I agree. Yeah.
Yep. Prize pack 1 gives us the glacial launcher turret. We haven't seen this one for a while. It was in a raid. Yeah, it was in a raid probably about 4 or 5 tech raids ago. So if you don't have this one, although the damage isn't high, it does help slow things down. We've also got the Radon reserves. And then prize pack 2 is the Epic Cat mortars. And again, the fuel tank DX1, so if you get it here, you don't have to get it in the bounty.
What was the cost in the bounty? That's a good point, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
2,400, I think it was, or something like that.
Oh, right. Well, then you go, don't claim that prize. Go and do this, because this you can do pretty easy. So
yeah, and that's a couple of
definitely worthwhile.
So.
Yep, and 10-day Epic Cat Cataclysm Water build tokens. Now remember, the Epic Cat was one of the 4 really long build time turrets back when, even if you were full of base parts, there was still like 10 days left over. So hang on to these hang on to these tokens, because you can't build the whole thing with the base parts. And then prize pack 3, we've got the Adder Strike turret.
That's not been around for a long time, has it?
No, yeah, it's been a while since.
I actually didn't have that.
No, and it's the one I literally, because I've screenshot those off my game. I actually went and did this particularly to get that thing, because obviously the corrosive, it's good at giving out corrosive damage, and it's one thing that's very hard to protect yourself against at the moment in the game if you're an attacker.
Yeah, I didn't have that one. Was that in a bounty like last year or something? Or
it was one of the real early bounties.
Bounty 1 or 2, yeah.
Yeah, it was. I did bounty 1. I didn't do 2. So
yeah. It was one of the early ones. Also got the Sulfide Deployer. That's another really good base special that you can use with a lot of different things. And then they've got 4-day Adder Strike turrets. Again, the Adder is another one that's a really long build that you can't complete with the base parts. And then 1-day structure build tokens ×2. And this was kind of hairy for me last night. Pay attention, because you are only allowed to store 2 of the 1-day structure build tokens, and you get 2 in this one, and then you get 2 in prize pack 4, and then there's 2 in the weekly. So don't waste tokens. You know, if you've got something or start something, then use the ones that you've got so that you're not wasting these.
Yeah, and that's why that's why my prize pack 4 look is not greened out. You know, because I've stacked up now and I can't do anything, so I'm waiting on that one.
Yeah, and I actually figured out that you could actually start the Adder turret, use these tokens plus one of the others, and get it done, because I had taken my original Adder turret off, and so I'm in the process of putting that back on. And then prize pack 4, we've got a new Omega Pyro Rockets OP gun. This one's got some pretty good damage. I think it's got like a salvo of 32. Yep. It's a little slower range, a little less range, I should say, but lots of opportunities to do the 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah, do you know, I was so keen to, like, I looked at the stats and I kind of thought pass through, but I really wanted to see what it did and give it a try. So I finished this last night and put it on last night. I've yet to see it in action, but from what I gather, because I've hit a couple of bases that have it on, it doesn't seem to do a great deal at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great because it says 4 million damage, that sort of stuff, or just over. A reload time of 10, multi-shot's 32 though, so you've got to split that across. Obviously, you can't boost it either because it's a turret top bonus item, so you can't boost it with anything at all.
And obviously, turret defense on the attacking ships doesn't work against it either. But
yeah, unfortunately.
But I don't know if is it going to help with drones? I mean, I don't know if drones is like an issue now with now that you can have 4 drone modules in a fleet. Is this something that's going to wipe them out of the channel quick, or if that's an issue? I don't know.
It might. I don't know, mate. To be honest, the drones are a bit of a misdemeanor. They're a bit of a hit and miss, to be honest. I've been putting them on some ships and then taking them back off again because I can't quite work out what. Whilst I quite like the concept, what I hate about the drones, I mean, we shouldn't be talking about drone modules, but the fact is that as the drone launches, it takes life off your ship, as opposed to when the drone dies, it should take life off your ship. So people that have got them in their bases, be cautious, because people are just kiting from a long distance, letting the drones come out. And if you've got it on on a warden, obviously the 15 drones obviously all dissipate and that sort of stuff, and they go back out and then come back in again, and your warden's half dead.
Have you? Because see, I did actually put it on my high guard warden the day it came out, and I took it off, and I did see one hit with it. But what I couldn't clarify is if you have a barricade, like a wall on the gate, will they not launch until that wall's broken? Has anyone tested that?
Your drones won't go through a wall.
No, but
their drones will come out.
But they'll still come out. They just obviously won't. I know they won't go through the wall, but I was just because you see, if you put a patrol range on your guard, they won't activate on that patrol range until the wall, the channel's opened. Do you know what I mean? You with me?
They shouldn't do. No, they shouldn't. I mean, I was doing a bit of testing with Earth actually a while back, and I'm trying to think now. The problem is I've got 2 Scourge gates at the moment, so I don't really know. I didn't get to test a wall. Actually, he had walls. No, they didn't. They just went to the closest building because the range of them is 16. So they just went to the closest building that basically they could hit. They didn't actually try and go up the channel, that sort of stuff, until I managed to knock his walls down, So,
I was wondering, because my biggest concern with them is people using them as a point of splash, to splash out stuff in the base. And I was wondering if you could defeat that object by putting a wall very deep into the base, that then they have to defeat the wall before the drones start launching off your guard. Because it's kind of, for me, I thought it was a prevention method. Sometimes fleets they're good enough that they just dash the base. They try and rush to the back, and they almost drive over your guard. They can't kill it, and you can't kill them fast as they can drive over you. And I'm wondering, it's not an issue I'm having, but I know that it's an issue some bases have, and I'm wondering if it's maybe a thing they could use to mitigate that. Like, if they try to drive over a ship as it's launched a drone on them, they're screwed. Do you know what I mean? But
So yeah, I mean, if you're in base guard defense, hey Ren, how you doing, mate?
Hey, good, you?
Yeah, good, mate, good. So yeah, if you've got them in the base guard, like I say on the wardens or something like that, then obviously as soon as the attacker comes in, yours go out. But it doesn't happen the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I've got 2 modules on MSC attacking ships, so it's not something I've tinkered, or tested in base defense a lot, and it's something I'd like to be honest. But
yeah, cool. Radio, Robin. Here we go. Next one.
Yep. Lions main TLC, runtime noon 26 through until the 3rd of July. Prize pack 1. This is the scattergun version of the Manticore. So if you did not have enough points to get this in the raid, this may be an opportunity for you to get that if you've been building your Skyfire and Phoenix fleets, or catch up on some of the tech that you don't have. So prize pack 1 is the Manticore blueprint as well as some VXP. Prize pack 2 is the Roaring Barrel system, as well as VXP and some build tokens. And prize pack 3 is the Savage CIC, the Panthera scattergun, as well as VXP and tokens. And again, be very careful with this one. Manticore tokens have a limit of 10. And so like I have to wait to do this, kind of like Mike was saying, because I've got something else building and I can't use tokens until my shipyard is free. So pay attention on the timing on this to make sure that you're not wasting tokens.
Cool. Yeah. Next one. Let's have a look then.
And then this one is Turn the Tides TLC. This is a skirmish fleets. Recommended is Hunter. This one runs from yesterday through again until the 3rd of July. Prize pack 1 is the Proto Tide Seeker. And then is it the Wolf's Tooth?
Houndstooth.
The Houndstooth, that one, yeah.
I had it reduced. I couldn't read it. The Houndstooth.
One.
Yeah, Houndstooth depth charge, as well as Proto Tide Seeker build tokens. Price pack 2. Hydraulic resistors. These are the plain Jane, the original versions that came out a long time ago. Have the evade bonus on them. Then we've got the PBX payload and more Proto Tide Seeker tokens. And then price pack 3 is the advanced concussive payload 2, as well as 5 of the Gale 3s. So if you're short some Gale 3s, this is a place to fill them up. More Proto Tide Seeker tokens. And then price pack 4 is the Garwood Gatling Gun 2, as well as Agility System 5. Again, these are limited components, so pick up 5 of those relatively quickly if you can. And then we've got additional Proto Tide Seeker tokens, 5 of them in price pack 4.
And just to be clear, on price pack 3, people are getting the original advanced concussive payload, not the improved version 2, it's the older one.
Really?
Yep.
It does say that on it. It doesn't say 2, does it?
Yeah, no, it says it's the original one, and I just checked in game to see if the image is correct, because sometimes forum posts don't match the game, and I checked. It's the original one. It's not version 2.
You would think that would be an oversight on their part, because they're obviously.
I would think so.
They're obviously offering the Garwood too. So why I can't see why they wouldn't.
I thought the note said that it was 2.
It's not.
You definitely have to pass that up to Chris and see what they say.
A bit odd, isn't it? Yeah, I have to say.
Yeah, the best in this DLC though is 10 days of Proto Tide Seeker token.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, I'm looking at the release notes. Prize pack 3, advanced concussive payload 2.
In game, it's not. So yeah, we should pass that up to Kitsai because they're giving the wrong price or announcing the wrong price.
Yes, not clever. Okay, here we go. Some bugs, fixes, and balances and tuning. Quite a lot came out today.
Can I just say off that top one, TSM, right? Fixed error with over damage. Is it just me being absolutely crazy, right? But
I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I'm hitting NPC bases, and I am telling you that they are taking me a long time to kill these holes.
Same,
and this is why I wanted to bring up that point about. Remember, I said to you earlier in the show, last bounty they removed ships because of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is.
I'm timing out in some of them. I'm like that.
Yeah, no, I am timing out, and I'm running like a full fleet. I'm running, drones. I'm hitting these ships with everything, and I am telling you, I am not getting over damage, and I run over damage weapons on every ship.
You just need to build better.
You're telling me I need to get good.
Yep.
Get good, get on.
My mortar's got full of CTs. My 4 MSCs are full of, all of them are running weapons labeled as over damage, and I'm telling you that I'm not getting over damage.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot today while everybody else was out having fun with Bounty and I was stuck in finished TLC land, that there was a lot of complaints from people that, basically if they're peaking bases and it's got, the Warden or the Hide Guard in it, they're just leaving it because they can't kill them in time.
Yeah, I mean, I was having issues getting through, any of the T7 holes, any of the big armor holes. And now, is that player bases or is that just NPC bases? Like, is it fixed in one and not the other, or is it just still not fixed in both?
Yes, is the answer. I have no idea, mate.
Right.
All I've read today on the page is, since it started, is it Hecker's Light working? But I don't know. Anyway, so over damage apparently is supposed to be fixed. Let's have a debate on that one on the page, eh? Mm-hmm. I'll have to look at the forums as well because I don't think that's the case personally. That's not what I'm experiencing anyway.
No, near me.
Okay, What's the next one then? Fix an error that refitting a ship that had a defensive slot would cause an SOS. Interesting. Is that a recent thing, or is that
not something I personally noticed? I don't know if anyone else in the panel has.
I think this is one that was there a long time ago and then came back way in the beginning when they had the defense slot. If you refit a ship, it was all kind of screwed up and in some cases disappeared. So
to take a defensive guard, put it into a normal slot, then do the adjustment.
Yeah, that's what you had to do. Yeah, you had to take it out of the defense guard, put it somewhere else, then refit it, and then put it back in.
Yeah, that was a year and a half ago or so, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I remember that
a long time ago. Yeah, I lost a what was the old fat thing? The black thing. It was like the bee's knees.
The defense ship.
Yeah, it was the defense ship.
The launcher one.
Launcher, yeah.
Yes.
Enforcer.
That's it. I couldn't think of it. Yeah.
You're welcome.
I'd finally built my first ever Enforcer. I was the bee's knees. It was rare, and Kix took it. It took like 2 weeks to get it back.
They took it from me.
They took it. But that was one case where the whole videotape, like I said, monthly videotape the base. I was able to show them the video, and they had to go back and do it. But
okay, the next one's really funny because this happened yesterday. I find it very amusing. Okay, so if you had a trap, anything that was behind the trap wouldn't fire yesterday after the update.
Oh God! Yeah.
This was hysterical.
I had just been hit, so I was sort of repping, and I didn't want to drop. But everyone in the Alliance chat was like, go out and hit all the #1 players, like go out and farm everyone, and just anyone with medals just go and hit them because ships aren't firing. But some were reporting it wasn't just ships behind gates; they were saying it was the whole guard fleet.
Yeah, I mean, I found even though like drones were launching and that sort of stuff, they were firing at the drones, but they weren't firing at your ships, which was really odd. Then I was using that to my advantage. I mean, I went out and a little bit mess about yesterday because I just found it funny, and I got hit yesterday as well. And my ships didn't fire at all. And I was just watching them. I was like, yeah, great, no turrets, and now I've got no ships. Basically, I've just got place cards, which was quite amusing. But we give as good as I got. So for 20 minutes, I had a bit of fun, and I got bored because I don't do PvP anymore. But yeah, it was all right. Anyway. Fix a problem where, under certain conditions, mega ships would not fire. I didn't know that. I don't do mega ship battles personally, but
that's never a good thing, is it?
No. Well, basically, I wonder if that would happen because obviously there's a TLC out, or it's just about to finish, isn't it?
Well, I did the TLC up to Prize Pack 4. I've not done 4 yet, and I can't say I noticed it myself. So I don't know. I don't know if it was in like fleet versus fleet condition on map as opposed to the TLC.
What? Which one you're talking about?
Fix the problem where under certain conditions mega ships would not fire.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that one.
No, I didn't, mate. I mean, there's not many of us here that actually do mega ship battles. I've got a couple of my alliance that do it, but obviously focus on this now, so we're not doing too much mega shipping. Okay, we'll move on anyway. So fix a problem where tokens... Now, this is annoying. Fix the problems where tokens for limited turrets were causing an SOS error. That was... So people went ahead and then charged in and did the TLC and that sort of stuff, and then tried to fit some of the new turret top on, the new OP top on, and it caused an SOS error, and they just basically couldn't do it. So that was quite quickly fixed, but yeah. Interesting how things go out into the real game, which I'm sure were probably perfectly fine when they were doing the testing. Fixed a problem where charged armors were showing in the wrong colors. Robin, want to expand?
Yes. I was doing my TLC late last night, having a few martinis, and all of a sudden my ship started glowing blue.
Stop blaming the martini.
What? I do like it though, because the ballistic was kind of like that pinkish color. That kind of didn't kind of match the explosive. So ballistic damage now against charged armor is a very vibrant blue. So it's obvious that it is ballistic. That happened late last night. We did update the chart and the colors that are up there on the page for people to share. That was the only one that I could see that had been changed, but now it's very obvious that every single color now is completely different. So it's pretty easy now to pick what damage you're being hit with.
It's like the hydraulic resistor color, isn't it?
Yes.
For the ballistic, because that's a really bright sort of blue. So
yeah, I mean it's like really, really deep blue. But yeah, so like I said, it kind of tripped me up because I was like, what in the world? But anywho, so it wasn't my drinking. They actually did make a change.
Yeah.
But it was messed up before. Like siege targets were triggering a green color, and I was doing assault TLCs, and it was kind of a pink color. I didn't see the green at all from corrosive, so it was all messed up. And I haven't changed. I haven't tried anything today, just see if it's fixed or not. But that's assuming it is.
And then the last one, so fix a problem where players were unable to advance in their R&D. And that's been on and off for some time, hasn't it? So in chat, guys, if anybody's actually still doing R&D, have you managed to get it going again? I'm not really sure, but that's hopefully is fixed, because it's important, obviously, especially for retrofitting and that sort of stuff, and
was that
repairs. Was
that due to like some of the requests saying like hit a particular thing that was no longer in the game or something, or was it just generally...
they couldn't do anything. Yeah, it wasn't like hit drag bases and they removed the drag bases and put the new ones on there. You physically could not. The button was grayed out.
Yes, what's time? 10 to 12. That's quite good. Okay, and then there's one other thing that they stated in the update notes, and I haven't seen it actually on the forum. I'll go and have a quick look in a second. But where they've stated the team is continuing to fix an existing issue! ! i.e. they're not telling us what the issue is, so it's obviously something to a player's advantage, and it's being rectified. So because they would tell us what it was if it's not working, and it was something that was relevant to everybody that had no impact.
Cut and paste error. So.
Oh, is that thing where you start a refit and then turn the light switch off 10 times and then come back and the ship's done?
I don't know, mate.
Only a Sparky would come up with that.
Sorry, Mark. That is also related to R&D. What they were saying is they fixed part of the problem with R&D, but the teams continue to fix another existing issue with R&D, so it's still not 100%.
So they click together, are they? Right. Okay.
Yeah, those two go together.
Okay, mate. All right. My bad. I must admit. Okay.
Yeah, you're bad.
So it's not that exciting then, to be honest. Liam, take me off share for the moment, because I want to have a look at, because I think we're about done for. Let me just double check. Slides, yes, we are. If you just take me off share from our stop screen.
You are off share.
Right. Where's my stop screen sharing thing? I thought we would do this, have a bit of fun, and just if I slide this across a second, I've just refreshed. So I thought we'd have a look at how many offers there are at the moment in the game.
All right.
So it seems like there are quite a few. Let me just cancel that. Get rid of that, and we'll have a little look and discuss those, because there's a plethora, isn't there? So
I've stopped looking at them, to be honest. There's always so many of them up now, and
there's nothing like trying to buy your way through the game, and all of a sudden this time it's you get your stickers back on shit, mate, or whatever. So what? Is this another way of getting people to, I mean, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, what we got there? So Proto Centurion, I don't know if everyone's got the same sort of stuff. So I've got 40 offers here. Okay. But when you start adding things up, it's very sneaky what they're doing. Like when they give you ships, they're only so part ranked, but you could also then expend even more and go and get some VXP as well if you wanted to. So, there's Proto Centurion and some more Proto 10 there and 30 there,
I sculled a fleet of Proto Centurions in Bounty in the last the XP, and Jesus, man, that was so expensive.
They took a long time, didn't they? I must admit.
Yeah, I did a fleet of Proto Tides and a fleet of Proto Cents. And it was...
Well, let's be honest, mate. There's £100, 100 English pounds. Good Lord. And then, like I said, there's the VXP tokens and some more again. Proto Tide Seeker this time, so it's all the latest stuff.
Now go back on the Proto Tide Seeker.
Go on, mate. Yeah,
that one. This is the best discount I've seen in offers.
65%. Yeah,
you're getting 30 days of shipyard time to build Proto Tide Seekers for the price you'd usually pay on 10, right? So you're paying a third of the time. If you want to, I'm just saying, if people have money and want to build a fleet of Proto Tide Seekers, out of all the offers, this is the biggest value for money I saw. This one, and there's one way to the end of that fleet of Vanquishers for $10.
Yeah, I mean, prototyping is about 12 days each, aren't they? From you, I think.
It depends on the setup, 12, 16 days each. So you could have 2 fully built, or or maybe 3 if you go lighter.
I do not.
And then there's the TLC that gives 10 days of total.
Yes, true. Yeah.
So I'm just saying, people who have the money and want to have the fleet, this one is worth a look at. The others are not, my opinion.
See the new like dubs. You know, I'm kind of like, they're way too expensive. You know, like they're releasing these new dubs. They're telling us we need like proto this and proto that. But if you look at the Proto Centurion and the Proto Tides, like the cost of repair and the cost to build them is really high in comparison to some of the other stuff we have in the game right now. And I just think that it's so like this new feature is so expensive to take part in compared to other aspects of the game.
But it's like this, I mean, because now there's the turrets there, and you know, there's another turret here, and people are now going to do this bounty because, you know, some people can do it now. All of a sudden, people are going like, oh, hang on a minute, there's structured build tokens there. Oh, great, I can start building these turrets. So there's another way of getting like, and that's £35 English, you know, and that's only for 13 tokens. You know,
bear in mind, everything, all of builds are base parts now. So why bother?
I agree with Liam. You could do everything with base parts, and you can auto targets for base parts. Why would you ever buy structured tokens? I don't get it.
It's an impulse buy for people that don't have certain buildings complete during bounty. They've ran out of base parts. Oh, I'll just quickly grab these and do a couple, and that means they ain't going to get in my base. Do you know what I mean? It's an impulse buy. It's a bait.
Man, I mean, if you have the app on your phone now, you can just send ships out on auto and get the base parts, you know.
I've been auto in 103s with Bucky's, you know, for the longest time now, you know.
I found it strange there was Fangtooth offers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that comes partially from people, and I saw recently a lot, comparatively, a lot of people on the TFC Facebook page saying, oh, I don't have anything for uranium now. Because people are doing dubs with icebreakers. So they never bothered building a fleet to do the map targets.
Yeah,
and a lot of people are stranded now. So these are, you know, expensive ways of catching up.
Yeah, someone just mentioned in YouTube chat there regarding like, you know, elite countermeasure turret is still taking 15 days even with base parts, and maybe wanting to get them.
Yeah, they should fix the build time on the Epic Cat Mortar, the countermeasure turret, and the Cannibal Wendigo. Those three are 30 days each. They're insane.
And don't help the stacking bonus, so they're just sideline turrets, which they
were like a huge anomaly from the dark days of GDA in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody there now honestly should have the balls to fix it.
But having a tier 6.5 take like 3 times as long, if not 4 times as long as a tier 7, that's you know, surely that's enough for you to say, hang on a minute, you know, we need to go back and fix that.
Exactly.
You know, people are going to buy this one. Look, the Conqueror build tokens. Look, it's bounty now, 35% off. People will be buying these deals because people want those 3 holes out.
I don't know, but you could.
People will buy those because there's 3 holes. They want them built, and they'll want to go and test them straight away.
No, I think that more people, the pressure, the people that will buy that deal more is the people that want to partake in bounty and their fleets aren't ready. And there's and you know, as a player, when you're not up to speed, you feel like a great sense of pressure to stay up to date. And
there's that group, Liam, you're right. And there's a group of people who are certain they're going to get the new ship, the River ship, and they want to be the first off the bat with the ship on the map. So they get everyone off guard and they have a good time.
One day Poseidon.
For 2 weeks until they nerf it.
For 2 weeks.
Exactly, yeah. Well, we just spoke about that earlier on, didn't we, about the rages? I mean, we got ours out early, and we went and had our absolute screen for 2 weeks until they were worthless.
Yeah, there's been a couple of Reaver fleets like that. Has there ever been a Reaver fleet that...
So that's the one. Stop there. Sorry, Robin, go ahead.
There's the build. It's a good build as well because it's got the throwers on.
Yeah, this ship has the Explosive System 4 on, which is a great special. Countermeasure 4 has the Radon Slinger. It's $5 and it's $10. I mean, if you don't have a base guard fleet today, this fleet is a freaking pain in the ass.
Yep, it makes a mess of people's fleets.
It always hurts the attackers. It is a pain. So I'm not saying your base is going to win, but it hurts.
Let me see when I come back at Christmas and I was really far behind in the game. One of the things I exploited during bounty and these offers, when they had these fleets up that were like $9.99 and $7.99. I would buy them. Sometimes I wouldn't even need them, but I would buy them because they would have a lot of specials on them that I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Like if you look at that, it's got Explosive System 4 on it. That come out as a bounty prize with onslaughts. And there's a lot of people that probably still don't have that. You know,
Right.
it's got countermeasure 4 on it. You know, and it's a great opportunity. Is that MC armors as well, or no? It's the deflection.
Those armors are in the FM.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say there's a lot of value buying for them, but you're right. The specials and even that Radon Slinger.
The Slinger's
thrower
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity to. I'd always look at the offers and say, right, do I have all the specials on that ship? Like, where else can I get them? You know, sometimes they have limited specials like Agility 5 and stuff like that on them, and it is a good buy in that scenario just to pick up limited stuff.
You know, it's probably what, a Big Mac with fries and a Coke, you know, and you get that fleet and you put something to defend your base that's easy to repair and becomes a pain in the ass for the attackers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good deal. I have to say that one is worthwhile. Particularly, I mean, anybody that's of a reasonable level can just go, well, I can be a pain in the arse now. I might be level 50, but they've still got to come and feel some pain when they come into my base. So,
and so to me, this is the #1 best deal from the 40, and that 30-day prototype seeker token, it's #2.
Yeah,
in terms of value for money, right? This is crap.
Yeah, no one's going to use those. Is there any specials though? Is there any specials or anything?
It is. See how they list the specials, because I think they're kind of on.
Well, there's 2, and there's 3. There's 3 decent specials there, but nobody's going to pay that much money for that.
No, because see, originally when they were doing this, they had a lot of the specials from the Tech Up campaigns on them that I missed, and that was why they were great buys at the time.
I mean, the specials then, obviously, the speed system.
Yeah, but out of all the tiers, 6 or 6.5, whatever, Conqueror holes, this was the weakest.
It was dull, wasn't it?
The King's Writ is better. The Boulder Fist is better. That guy sucks.
Yeah.
This is overpriced. It is a good ship for low-level players, but it's very overpriced.
Mm-hmm.
There's
you got some good specials. If you look at the specials, you got some good specials.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Investigators.
What's the price?
Expensive, but it's good.
What's the price for 4?
Sorry. Oh God, that's expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, you know, that this come out in a TLC where you had to get a mastery round, and there was a lot of people that didn't
get it.
Yeah, I mean, and from myself included, I'm not the greatest of sub drivers at times, and
at times.
Yeah,
this is the one where you had to have the fangs built, so everybody that went the hunter route didn't build the fangs.
Yeah, so there was a lot of people that were screaming for this before overdamage, because this filled with muddle missiles was one of the best guards, you know.
Yeah, and I've still got a couple of those ships actually. I've kept them in my store. They were good.
Yeah, for mid levels they're fun, but they're too expensive, honestly.
What have they got on here? Anything of interest?
Agility 4. Agility 4. If you're short of a few.
Oh yeah, so there is some. Yeah.
What's the price?
There's a TLC now that you can do with, I think, hunters, and you can get 5 agility system 4s in that TLC.
True.
Some Defender VXP, well, you can get that free.
Yeah, free.
There's Defender build tokens as well.
Oh look! Oh, still too expensive though.
What's on them?
Hedgehogs and freaking thingies. Yeah, there's a bit of everything on there.
That's not a good price for that.
No, you'd refit that straight away.
You'd want 2QX on there.
And where's the bus? Because if you haven't got the bus, well, that's 40 or 40. So without the bus, those are pointless, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if it had the 2QX on it, then it would necessarily have some value.
Even that setup, I mean, choose Loths and the bus for $25, considering that ship's almost a year old. That's good. You know what I mean? That'd be good.
Yeah.
Just like the 4 eviscerators. If that was like something like $30, I'd say it's reasonable. But 75, it's crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
It's very limited value, you know, nowadays.
Yeah, tend to agree, mate. Right, that's us. I think we're done. Unless anything, Ren, how was your football match, mate? Come on, because it's World Cup, obviously. How did you get on?
Hey, Brazil won and went through, and it's amazing. And Germany bombed, tanked, sank.
Wow.
You know, and they're out. So, and they managed to lose to Korea, which was very surprising to me, because it was a draw, 0-0 up to the 90th minute, and then Korea scored 2.
If they would,
this World Cup's crazy. Plenty of upsets. I'm shocked.
If they would have won, then they could have potentially been playing England next round.
Now, so England's gonna play who? Sweden?
Well, it depends how it goes tomorrow, because it depends between us and Belgium who finished first and second, doesn't it?
Sorry, guys, I have someone at the door. I gotta go.
Okay.
All right.
Right. Well, we'll stop talking about football because I suppose those people stateside might be interested in the World Cup. I don't know. They have a few teams over there now, don't they? And they're hosting soon. So hey.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything, Rue? Anything you want to throw in there?
No, I'm good.
You all good, Mark?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm bountying, so yes.
Okay, brilliant. Well, listen, guys, it's been a great show. Thanks for everyone that's came out and watched tonight. I know bounty's going on, but we still had a nice group that's come out and watched the show, and we appreciate that. I hope everyone has a good bounty. Of course, stay tuned to the TFC page for information and help and advice, and please join us Saturday to discuss and share your views and opinions on how you've been finding bounty. And until then, happy sailing. Good night.
Night, everyone.